Are you a gaming recluse like I am? Every year I play through Tony Hawk's 3, start another Wind Waker save, and lose another 3 trillion games of League. But today that changes, because I need some new experiences from the past. I'm going to play and rank every single N64 exclusive game. There's nearly 100 titles, so I've got my work cut out for me. I'm going to be sticking them on a brutal tier list to judge them, clear from any nostalgia bias or secondhand opinions. I'll give you my truths. I have played a handful of the big hitters, but there's an enormous library of bizarre games that have prompted me to pick this console in particular. You might know all about Mario 64, but do you know the story of Ogre Battle 64? Person of the lordly caliber? Didn't think so. And at the end of this journey, I'll host an award show for all of the class and arse that this console has to offer. Take this series as a comprehensive guide presented by your local 30-push-in knobhead. Let's get into it. They didn't need to, but they did. That's how I'd sum up DK64. For those who haven't played or seen much of it, it's an RPG collectathon, but mate, there is stuff. 8 levels, 5 characters, and 9 different types of collectibles, amassing to 3,821 things to grab. This is Pick Stuff Up, the game.
Oh, is that Donkey Kong?
I believe that is Mr. Donkey. That might be John Donk.
John Donk.
It's a little bit overwhelming at first. You're introduced to just about everything in the first few hours. Grab bananas to feed the hippo, grab the coins to buy weapons and instruments from Tigbits. You'll also need medals to learn abilities from Grandpa. Ghost Grandmother will give you hints. Don't forget the blueprints to sell to the fox bloke. Beat all of the bosses to get the keys to unlock the big lizard. And finally, locate the gold bananas to get past the fence fella. They didn't have to do all of that, but they did. And if you can get your head around it, it does feel excellent to always have a sense of progression. With so much bollocks to do and collect, you're always feeling like you're getting something done, and it does make you want to carry on. Like, how the tits did they get this into 32 megabytes? I will say that it is a bit of a dopamine overload though. The golden banana is your equivalent to getting a star, but it doesn't have that same hit. It's just another thing floating around. It doesn't hit like a shine does. But what does hit is the music. Nothing too bombastic, it slots into the background nicely. I especially love the underwater effect. Another minor detail that they didn't have to add, but they did. Can I use my coconut gun that I fire in spurts in the water though?
I don't think so.
No, it would appear not. It struggles from classic old game stuff, and there's some very strange, illogical parts. The one that comes to mind is shooting this peanut sign. In a modern game, you'd have to raise a platform from the water and leap onto that and then shoot it from a straight angle. But here you have to awkwardly aim at it from the side up on this cliff. It just doesn't seem super thought out. A lot of my playthrough was me versus the camera. Sorry.
You're not hitting that.
Where is that?
I hate that it doesn't show you where that is. Yeah, it's so annoying. It appears you're on borrowed time.
Put the blicky away! What is this camera angle? The hardest part is putting the weapon away.
Yeah, it doesn't look very responsive.
Right, then I've got to battle the camera. Oh, for I've heard people complain about the bananas being only collectible by certain Kongs. And it is a pain in the ass. The crusts have got this one right. Listen to the old boys. That's a part that they didn't have to add, but they did, and I wish they didn't. The render distance makes for one of the most annoying parts of the game, and also one of the most charming details. You know in Assassin's Creed when you get a lay of the land from atop a high place? You can get yourself onto a vantage point in DK64, but you can see absolutely piss all from up here. But in the same vein, they can't render all of the buildings at the same time. I do understand. And they've got this nifty trick where, if a house is coming up, there's a sick animation of them materializing and spinning up from the ground. It could have faded in, they didn't have to make it cool, but they did. And that's why it's a proper game. If you dusted off the N64, you should play this.
Go on, say something smart.
Stream League.
Okay. Are you gonna spin this wheel, Josh?
Okay, sorry, I'm spinning the wheel. I am playing next. We are playing Diddy Kong Racing.
Let's go!
Diddy Kong Racing is a fucking sick game.
Diddy Kong. Oh, fuck it, that's the game I wanted you to get first.
Wait, I played Donkey Kong 64 into Diddy Kong Racing. Is that not 1v9? Before I tell you about Diddy Kong Racing, I need to tell you about me. I'm a huge racing game fan. I love sim racing, I love arcade racing, and I love kart racing. My favourite game is Most Wanted. I've put countless hours into Gran Turismo, and I've even driven the Nürburgring in real life. So when I tell you that this is easily the most confusing time I've ever had in any form of racing, understand that it comes from a place of experience. I loved this game as a kid and I was thrilled to get to play it again. But 20 years of fond memories were challenged. Let's start with the major issue. Why on earth does every kart turn from the rear wheels? It's the strangest design choice to have the karts drive like this. It's like nothing I've ever played. Instead of turning like this, you turn like this, which makes it so that to go left, you often have to go right. Micro adjustments are near impossible, and worst of all, I decided to play through most of the game as Crunch. There are hidden kart stats, and this lizard prick counts as a heavyweight, which isn't mentioned anywhere. What this means for me is that I'm driving with a welded diff and bold tyres. But you know what? This does make the game stand out, and there is a certain thrill to improving with the bizarre mechanics. I found myself getting extremely pissed off, but still playing. Sounds like someone I know. It's a good job the driving is engaging, because the tracks and power-ups are not. Boring genetic backdrops, and the boost is genuinely the only power-up worth using. When you're up against the big dogs, you've got to stand out. And DKR's party piece is the choice of 3 vehicles and the hub world. I love a hub world. So much more interesting than picking a race from a list. This one kind of reminds me of the Wacky Racers hub. There's not much to it, but it's just a fun inclusion, purely for the sake of it. They didn't have to, but they did. The vehicles, however, are less charming. Really, the kart is the standout. The hovercraft and plane almost feel like afterthoughts. There's nothing special about them. They handle as you'd expect it to, and it makes them boring. Maybe the dodgy karts are a good thing after all. I thought that until I had to face the first boss battle. This motherfucking race is so unbelievably stupid in these bastard karts that can't turn on a good day, let alone when the entire race is a spiral. So you just have to send it over and over again, hoping that you don't run into any more bullshit. Eventually, I got a good run. I beat the first boss, and then this absolute bellend tells me that I need to try braking and accelerating to do sharp turns. Why are you telling me this now? Why are you not telling me when I first play? I can't think of another game where that's actually done. It goes against all logic, and yet it's a key feature to driving quickly. This game is incredibly frustrating. I don't even think it's really that good, but I kept playing. There's just something about it, so I have to put it in Nifty. Even without nostalgia, you could play this game. What are you hoping for today? What kind of game are you hoping for? Are you hoping for like a bullshit game? Or like a sick game? Or
I want to see that. I want to see anything that's not like generic Nintendo shit like Donkey Kong. I want to see something weird.
okay,
Like fucking Blast Corps.
you want to see Blast Corps?
Or Base Hunter 60. That's the fishing
That's-
game, isn't it?
I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe to my channel. I'm so close to 10k. Thank you guys. Okay, I'm down to play Mario Tennis. I don't have much nostalgia for the N64. We're the same age, so it wasn't my first console. I was always a GameCube boy. So naturally, my favourite Mario Tennis game is Mario Power Tennis. But after just a handful of matches here, I genuinely think this is the best Mario Tennis game. The newer titles are too over the top, complex, and busy. What in the piss is going on? N64 Tennis masters simplicity and charm. This really is the console of small details. Mario is the umpire. That's such a funny but obvious choice. Of course you'd rather have his voice telling you it's 40-15 as opposed to a random announcer.
But also, what happens if you play Mario? Who's the umpire then?
Okay, we need to find out. Oh, it's just blue Mario?
Oh my god. I like how the bull boys are like bombs.
Yeah.
Bomba boys.
When you're on game point, the Lakitu follows you around with a camera. It's just so stylized and cool. You can tell whoever made this really gave it everything. They didn't have to, but they did. This is pure tennis perfected. Fundamentals, great artwork, and solid snappy controls. No frills, just a sharp, really good game. If you want to play a Mario Tennis game with your mates, this is the one. And almost comically, I'm putting it into the mint tier. You might only play it for an hour, but you've got to play it. Are you ready for the next demon game? Any predictions? Any predictions on what demon game we might get?
League of Legends.
I really get Banjo? Banjo-Kazooie is fucking class. I was first introduced to this game by its most hated relative. In Nuts and Bolts, you could only obtain rare vehicle parts by playing the Xbox Live version arcade of the original, and collecting a certain amount of hidden eggs. I came for the fluffy dice, but I ended up staying for the full game. To capture 14-year-old me's attention like that was no small feat. At that time, I was spending like 8 hours a day on Halo and COD. So for me to play a platformer from the 90s, it must be something special. By the way, you're all wrong about Nuts and Bolts, but that's a story I'll tell you another time, and maybe soon. This is another pick stuff up game, but it's a bit more cohesive than DK64. All the elements just seem to flow together. Our main objective is to collect Jiggies, which unlock more levels, but they're a bit different to what you'd think. You can choose where to spend them by filling in different puzzles to unlock new worlds. I think this is why Jiggies work better than Golden Bananas. They're visceral. You can see where they're going, and you can see where your hard work is going towards. Physically placing them on a board is so much more than a number on a door or a gate. Not only that, but unlocking new stages grants you more powers. So it really means that collecting Jiggies is the most important and rewarding part of the game. It all comes full circle together. This is your objective. The Jiggy really is the gold standard for a collectible. Speaking of stages, there's a grand variety. They've really covered all bases. I think the strange nature of controlling a bear carrying a bird allows you to throw most logic out of the window, and suddenly you have the creative freedom to make just about anything you want. Bollocks to it, we'll have a big rusty fish as a stage. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I do have some nitpicks. I'm not thrilled about the hub world. Grunty's lair isn't the most particularly well thought out. I found myself forgetting where each world was and having to bumble around until I found the one I was after. To me, these teleporting cauldrons are actually a sign that if you need shortcuts in a dungeon this small, it's probably not laid out very well. Also, are these where Wind Waker got the idea from? I do, however, like the verticality of it. The feeling of completing a zone and ascending further up the mountain is a hit. Onwards and upwards. However, I wish there was a reason to go back down sometimes. There's not much of an incentive to revisit an older stage with your new power-ups. I like when a game hides something in front of you in an early level to come back to later on. I briefly had this when I came back to the first level after finding 5 tokens and got the spider magic. I'd have loved a bit more of that.
That is the creepiest looking arachnid I think I've ever seen.
This isn't what I thought was going to happen.
Oh, it's a termite. Okay.
I thought he was going to give me like a 1v9 power that I get to use for the rest of the game, but I'm just a speed ray. Are you ready for the they didn't have to, but they did? That comes in the form of exiting the game. Whenever you save and quit, there's a game over cutscene. You see the consequences of your actions as Grunty becomes a peng babe. Then it cuts to you sleeping at home like a bum. Get up and beat the game. That's really what this game does best. It makes you want to keep playing. Whether it's the funny character models, or a new stage, or just how fun it is, or maybe the guilt, you just want to come back. I am, however, minusing points for the sharks. I fucking hate bastard sharks. Is that Kabag Man? Alright, let's see what game we get. Will it be a shit one?
Oh, I want to see a Pokemon one, actually.
Alright, I wouldn't mind playing Pokemon Snap.
I want to see Pokemon Snap, yeah.
Give me Pokemon Snap.
Of course, it's Mario Shock.
What about Mickey
Ooh,
Speedway?
Mickey, okay.
Mickey Speedway USA. Round shot.
Round shot.
I'm about to smack 2 games down into the bollocks tier, so let's do them back to back. Can you insert my Rumble Pack, please?
Yeah, hold on.
Thank you. I think you can clearly identify a truly terrible game when the only thing to talk about is what the game doesn't have. Mickey Speedway USA is a nothing game. That's the only notable thing in this game. It has nothing. No quirks, no skyboxes, no backgrounds, no fun, no nothing. On top of that, there's this weirdly shoehorned in story that makes absolutely no sense and is unbelievably unnecessary. Okay, here's the story mode. It's actually got nothing to do with anything. You're on a racetrack now. Pluto's been kidnapped. Okay, have a race. This might be the worst game ever because it's so unbelievably nothing. If it was at least bad, people would remember it. but the carts handle fine, the character voices are fine, the artwork is fine. For all of these games, we try and find at least something.
To be fair, this map at least has those like slowing areas and the bumps.
Yeah,
The
this
bridge.
is somewhat reminiscent of something that could be interesting.
That game looks awful.
Like 2 different like ways you can go. Interesting.
Give me something to love, or give me something to hate. This is like the Madry of kart racers. These games to me, with no nostalgia, no memories, no nothing, these are dreadful. They did have to, and they didn't. When I made the Dreamcast series, I often found that fighting games were a clear indicator that you were playing at least a serviceable game. Even the less impressive ones still had a bit of sauce about them, but I am thoroughly disappointed in Bakaka Kids. It's a telling sign when there's never been a US release, but I saw the funky artwork and slick animation and thought, wow, this might be decent. But I was far from right. Some could even say left. You know the saying, function over form? This is form over function at its finest. It feels horrid to play, but it looks absolutely excellent. It is genuinely unenjoyable to move your character. It's unresponsive, unintuitive, and ultimately unfun. Who did they market this towards? It's kid-themed, but I nearly got perfected by the first opponent. There is a chance I'm just being stupid and there's certain controls and combos that I'm not quite grasping, but when moving left to right is genuinely a pain, I'm not going to stick around. There's one character I used who could only move in increments of suggestive lunge. He also had a hip thrust attack. Really bizarre. Kind of stuff you'd see from the local knitbag. I want to play I want to play Bass Hunter 64 so bad. Okay, I get to play the original Smash Bros. That's pretty cool. I am the patty of a Smash Burger. I've played and still play Melee to this day. I adored Brawl as a kid. Then me and Lorenzo played a ton of Smash 4 on the 3DS. The only ones I haven't played are Ultimate and 64. I'm aware of the small competitive scene that still hangs on to this game. It's got an incredibly storied history, and finally being able to experience it for myself was not a letdown at all. I really like how this game feels. Everything is nice and snappy. Fast acceleration is the key to my heart. These characters don't fanny around. You can zip about the stage and put yourself exactly where you want to be. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater of any casual Smash, but this is the game where I feel that turning items off and having no stage hazards really is the best way to play. You're greatly rewarded for fundamental skills with how pure and straightforward the gameplay is. It reminds me of Virtua Fighter in that way. It's a nice balance between the carpal tunnel simulator of Melee, the floatiness of Brawl, and whatever silly bollocks is going on in these new games. But for me, the best part of the game is just the hit sound. It's so crunchy and satisfying. When it comes down to it, it's Smash. Smash in its most basic and pure form, and you just can't go wrong with that. If you've got some mates round, you have to play this. The year is 1998. Ridge Racer are on their 5th game. Gran Turismo just came out last year. And Need for Speed is cooking up some good stuff too. So you've really got to do something amazing to stand out. How about teeth? Top Gear Overdrive does in fact not have cars that bite. What it does have is a really bizarre way to capture my attention. I sat and played this game for way longer than I anticipated. I assumed I'd do a couple of races, get the gist of it, and piss off to the next game. But what really happened is I did a few races, saw there was a new track to take on, and I saw there was another car to unlock. And this process looped. Do the race, get more money, buy the next car. I just couldn't stop. Perhaps I'm a simpleton, but this game really got me going. I'm taking this weird off tone because after researching this game, it looks so primitive compared to its competition. Maybe if I'd played one of these big boys first, I'd have chalked this game up to being bollocks right away. But the undeniable truth is that I had genuine fun. Once you complete a season, which is like a championship, things change. The weather's different, so is the time of day. And there's a new track added onto the series. I just kept wanting to see what was next. This is just honest, good fun. It's a bit rough around the edges. The soundtrack is about 6 songs. Your car will just blow up for the thrill of it. The cars handle like they're shopping trolleys. But I like it. I'll chuck it in mid-tier for now, and see what other races I get to. Hello viewers, I may have forgot to put Iggy's Wrecking Balls in at the 3rd slot, so I'm putting it in now. Apologies. I'm not quite sure where to start with this one. Don't get me wrong, This game is bollocks. You pick a ball, roll along a predetermined track, and use a grappling hook to climb up a course and try and knock off the other pricks. I'd have loved to have heard the pitch for this game. Sat around in a boardroom like, oh yeah, it's balls, isn't it? I genuinely don't know what they were going for. It doesn't even work half the time. The grapple has a mind of its own, the boost sends you flying away further than you'd ever need to be, and the characters look like complete twats. So please tell me why it's a little bit of fun. It has no rights being any amount of entertaining. It starts out really, really weak. The opening tracks are too simplistic and overwhelmingly dull. But when you get a bit of speed going, there's this tiny aspect of hitting a boost, a jump, and a grapple all at the perfect timing, which is just enjoyable enough to make you see out the next race. It reminds me of the game Speedrunners, if you've ever played that. It's the final evolution of whatever this is, and there's no reason to go to the past to play something like this. It is shit, but I've definitely played shitter. Thank you for watching. This is part 1 of about 10. If you guys like this, please let me know. I reckon I could get one out every week and a half or so. And to the regular viewers, don't worry, beer videos are still coming. Thank you to my wonderful channel members for keeping me going. If you'd like to join too, click this thing here. All members now get access to the behind the bag podcast / bonus moments video. Yee Hoo Yee, Consnip, Aussie Will, Metal Pipe, The Cougar Hunter, Evil Girl Lily, Eraser V4, Fabiang 1789, Caffeine, Timster, Leonidas, Blue Jay, Perseus, Young Mallard, Ray Castard, The Vanilla Gorilla, Pasty, Brenor, Chance, A.E. Null, and Kurt Wagner. See you all soon.